Okay. Listen, don't judge us. Don't judge us. Okay. Hopefully we're good now. Please give us some grace. Good morning, everyone in Rogersville. Welcome back. So I was going to say you're watching or maybe listening to that Friday morning show, so first of all, so I'm Cassie, and of course you guys know Megan.
Hello.
And you might notice that Will's missing once again. But it's because we have some really exciting news. So after our show last Friday, Will gave us his blessing and said, why don't you guys take over the Friday show? So now it's the Megan and Cassie show. I can't believe it. So we don't have a name or anything yet.
No, we don't.
But yeah, we're trying to, we've come up with so many ideas. We've got some cool, fun ideas that we can talk about and discuss topics and all that stuff. So I think it'll be more mom related.
Yes, I feel like this will be more of a, probably more of a women's show now.
Yes.
Apologize for it.
But, not to worry if you miss Will, because he's still on the Morning Waffle.
He's on the Morning Waffle.
And then he does dollars and cents, with the Resource Center. So he always has that show going on. Uh-oh, are we doing something wrong? Say it again.
Sponsors. See that? Push that button.
Okay, guys, sorry. I don't see that button. I'm sorry. This one, show hide?
We're having some technical difficulties this morning.
We're going to have some
training.
Will was always the one driving the bus whenever it was me and him.
Yikes.
And so now it's just me and Phil and Megan, and we're trying to figure out things. So I apologize to our sponsors. Oh, and here we go. Oh, he said the logo button. That's what Will said. We got to move this over. Will, we're going to need a little lesson here.
Hit the sponsor logo button.
I just don't see that. It says show hide here. I don't know. Share screen. We don't want to do that.
We should not be trusting with this kind of equipment.
No, we should not. This is a bad idea. But we're okay anyway. So we've got a lot of cool, fun topics that we can discuss on our future shows and everything.
Yes.
So lots of fun stuff.
I know.
Yeah. So we need some recommendations though.
Yes, we want to know what people want to hear, what people want to talk about.
Yes. And then what we should name the show.
That's what I was going to say.
We haven't,
No, I don't have no idea what to do.
The only one was Phil's. He said 2 moms in the morning.
It's not a bad idea, but I kind of feel like,
Yeah, we gotta get something more creative.
Catchy.
Yes, more catchy.
Creative.
Yes. But maybe that'll get the juices flowing or something like that. So if you have any fun ideas, top row of the third button, I think. Oh, that one. This one? Hey.
Got it.
Will, we did it.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, so we've got a little learning curve here. So please bear with us. So we're so excited. And I haven't talked to Will about this yet, but we're going to try to just take the audio and turn it into a podcast as well. And then we'll probably have our own Facebook page and our Instagram page.
We're going to make sure it gets uploaded to YouTube.
Yes.
I mean, we literally... I don't even have the words this morning.
This is her dream to have a podcast.
This is like my bucket list is to have a podcast. And I was thinking about it this month because of things we will discuss.
Yes.
And then we did the show last week. And then I was literally thinking about it, praying about it that morning, how I really want to do a podcast. I really, really, really want to do it. And I have no idea where to start. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? Cassie and I would be great on a podcast together. And then she calls me.
I mean, how
And she's like, so do you want to do this show with me? I was
like, how did that even come? Yes, that just all the stars aligned.
I know. I just couldn't even believe it.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun on Friday mornings.
Yes, we are. So I wanted to check in and see how your 75 hard soft was going. Uh-oh. Did you have problems this week?
No. So I restarted, like I mentioned last week.
So you restarted back from day one?
Yeah. So I restarted on Tuesday. And I've done pretty good.
No, wait a minute. I thought we were supposed to be giving you grace.
I know.
To fall off the wagon and then get back on.
But the whole part of the challenge, it's not even a fitness challenge. It's a mental challenge.
Right.
And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I feel like I'm going to do myself an injustice to do it just half, like I don't want to end it and be like, man, I could have done
I know, but
so
if
much.
you don't allow yourself grace,
Oh,
then
absolutely.
are you going to start
absolutely.
over?
No. So I told myself, okay, I'm going to, because over the weekend was just rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough.
They come and go, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start it over. I'm going to give myself grace. And I'm just going to push through this time. So I started Tuesday. I've ran each day, like 2 miles.
Good. And it's been a good week weather-wise.
Yes, exactly.
So that's good.
I'm working on all the other things with it. But I felt like the first week I was not mentally there.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give myself a second chance.
Good.
Type thing. So I'm still doing the soft version,
Yeah.
meaning I'm not going to start over.
Okay.
But I just wanted to be like, okay, at the end of the 75 days, I can say like, I gave it my all.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And you stayed focused.
Exactly, because that's why he made this, is for a mental challenge,
Right?
And I want that. I need that mental challenge this year. So
Absolutely.
that's kind of my thought process.
And I shared it with you that Nikki, our friend and neighbor, she said that she created her own 75. She calls it 75 better.
Yes.
And I love that version. She has 5 things, and of course she texted me, and I don't have my phone on me because it's been a rough morning, y'all. But she said that so she's going to work out daily, which I think she works out anyway, but she just wants to make sure that she doesn't skip a day.
Yes.
She wants to have uninterrupted time with her kids. She wants, like, I think she designated 10 or 15 minutes a day, uninterrupted playtime. She wants to eat healthier. She wants to read her Bible daily. And she's deleting Facebook for 75 days because she just needs that break.
Good for her.
I know.
Good for
So,
her.
you out there, if you need some inspiration, you can make it your own. I love it that she made it 75 better and she just made it her own.
Yeah.
Whatever she wanted to do.
Well, and I like that because, you could do the hard version, right? You could do the soft version, or you can be like, you know what? Let's just take 75 days and just be better.
Yes.
Just be better.
Yes.
And here's my thing. I hate when people are like, be better. Oh, you don't have to, you're fine the way you are, or you don't,
Right.
It's, oh my gosh.
Everyone can use some improvement.
Thank you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's not bad to say, hey, I can be better. I can be better at this,
Right.
I think that's life. I mean, for people
Absolutely.
to ever think that anything is perfect or nothing can be worked on.
Well, yeah. If
don't
you
even get me started.
Exactly. If you don't think there's areas in your life you can improve on.
Exactly. Everyone can improve. No one is perfect. Nothing is perfect. No situation is perfect.
Right.
And if anyone tries to say differently, I'm just toss to the hand because
Yes.
I don't want to hear about it.
Yes, and surely people understand that. And I was thinking about this. I've always affiliated New Year's resolutions with losing weight because I've always struggled with weight, and it's always been a challenge. And every year I fail, And I guess that's why this year I was thinking, okay, I'm pregnant. I'm like, I got to pass this year. I don't have to lose weight this year. But then you guys inspired me with everything else that you're trying to do, and I'm like, okay, why can't I do all of that?
Yes, you can.
And I can still do 10,000 steps a day. So, my mom and I, we take breaks. Everyone make fun of me now, but I'm really close to my mom. I love her very much. And we talk twice every day, and we walk during our breaks while we talk. And it's great. It's great for her. It's great for me. And it encourages both of us to get our steps in through the day and get some fresh air. And so we took a break, and I got pregnant. I was really sick. I got COVID, all that stuff. And so we need to get back on the train and get better at making sure that we get in those steps every day, get our exercise in. And then I'm not a reader. I've never been a reader. And
I'm a big reader.
I wish I was. I really do. So that's one thing I want to improve.
There you
I want to
go.
improve like learning and like reading. And I listen to, and I've never really been a podcast listener. And Nikki DeSoto, she's a teacher here in Rogersville, and she encouraged me, and she said, I listened to this awesome podcast. You would really love it. It's going to really pertain to your life right now, being pregnant and all that. And so I'm like, and then they have a book, and she goes, I think you need to read this book. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to read that book.
A book, like these ladies wrote a book?
So there's a book that...
Don't even get me started on my other goal.
Oh my God. Oh, that's the next one?
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's always been that. Anyway, keep talking.
But that's great, because she said that the lady that actually wrote the book, she goes, I was just telling people about all my experiences, because she has like 9 kids. Oh. And she goes, I was telling everybody about my experiences with just pregnancy and postpartum and all kinds of stuff. And she said her husband was like, okay, you're journaling for yourself. and you're telling people mouth, face to face, but why don't you put it down and put it in a book and like let everyone read it? And so that's what she did. I think it's called Redeeming Childbirth. But anyway,
9 kids.
9 kids. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I know.
No offense to anyone out there who has 9 kids, but like,
Could you imagine?
On a day-to-day basis with my 3 kids, I'm like, okay, I'm very close to having a Britney moment where I just shave off my hair. Okay, that's how I feel.
I've heard, and maybe someone can speak to this that has multiple kids. Like even my friend has 5 kids. But I think after a while they just sort of, it's just like,
That's what I heard.
What's another one? Just drop another one in the mess.
That's what I heard. And you know what? Who knows? I mean,
to each their own, I guess.
I used to think about having 4, and then I had 3, and the last one came really fast, and I was like, man, this is a lot of kids. Like, we got one in each hand, right?
Right.
What do you do when the third one is running at you?
Exactly. Yes.
What do you do?
Or running away.
Running away. Exactly.
Like, yes.
Yes. And then I'm dragging two kids with one hand.
Yes.
Or I have one in my arm, one in the hand, and I'm reaching out for the third kid. Get back here, Aiden. Yeah. It's usually Aiden.
Yeah.
He's a goner.
It's usually
he's a goner.
I'd have to ask my friend with the 5. I don't know how they do it. And now they're older. It's really comical because we'll be at like a church function or something, and she'll just like look around, and they're all running around playing and stuff, and she's like, Baker kids, and she's like, we're leaving, either you're coming or you're not. And so then she just takes off walking towards the car, and then they just follow her like little ducklings, and they just all but she's like, if I left one there, it'll be fine. I got 4 more at home. Obviously she's joking.
Obviously.
But
But
I wanted to get her that bumper sticker that said like honk if a kid falls out, because she's got so many kids. It's like, hey, you might honk if one of them falls out.
I couldn't even imagine.
Well, and her last 2, get this, her last 2 were twins.
No.
So she had 3, and then she had twin boys.
No.
I'm like, oh
that
my
was
gosh.
a fear of mine. Like, what if?
Yeah, that's always a possibility.
Of course.
I tell you.
Right now, it's not a possibility.
Well, of course. Yes, of course. Yes. Yeah, I think you're free right now.
Oh.
But crazy. Well, and I had a dream last night. I was going to ask about, because I woke up in the middle of the night and I thought, gosh, that's so weird. And, maybe it's pregnancy. In the first trimester, I feel like I always had really weird dreams. And then,
absolutely.
But yeah, I had a dream. I was like, I was stealing. This is terrible. I had a dream. I was like stealing stuff out of people's cars. What does that mean?
Were you pregnant in the dream?
No, I wasn't, because I was running, because a lady caught me and she goes, I see you out here. And I was like, I don't. And somebody had a convertible and they had like a game, like a board game in the back of the car.
You won the board game?
And I took it. And she goes, that's my board game. And I was like, lady, no, it's not. And then I took off running. But I'm like, okay, I need to probably interpret that. Try to interpret that and see what that means.
Maybe you want to play board games.
I guess so. There's always an underlying reason for dreams. So I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Oh my goodness.
I would be curious
I know what my dreams mean, but that's just because
you've got a lot
I've got a lot going on right
Yeah.
now. So when I wake up, I'm like, stupid dreams.
Oh, no.
Just throw them in the trash can. Just toss them out in the trash.
Are you ready to talk about what you're going through?
We can.
We can briefly talk
Yeah,
about it.
we can briefly talk about it.
And then we can just kind of touch on it. And,
Yeah.
Whatever you're comfortable
You
with.
know what?
I don't want to.
I am
An open book.
open book.
Yes.
Open book. I always have been. Because, I started Beachbody in 2015 when I was pregnant with Alex. So when I signed up, that's pretty much you're saying, okay, I'm about to share my life on social media.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is.
Wow.
And so that's what I've done for 6 years. And so when all of this started going down, and you know what, we'll just say it. So we'll just do it. We'll do it.
I'm getting a drink of water.
Oh, yeah, I might need a quick little
Get ready. Hydrate.
So
Will, this is your, if he's still watching, this is your reminder to hydrate today.
yes.
Drink some water.
Drink some water and you'll feel better, I promise.
No Diet Coke.
So the beginning of last month, my ex-husband now, he decided to leave, and he did something pretty horrendous, and then followed that up with
lots of, yeah.
very blindsided.
After 7 years, right?
7 years.
Almost. It was like shy.
Yeah, our anniversary was last weekend.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
And then a Valentine's Day, of course, is coming up.
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh. You know what? That's when you need to start dating, though. You know what I mean?
Goodness gracious. Oh, we're going to talk about this too. No, but, you know, I could go into, and we'll talk more about it. I don't want to completely smear him on social media.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I have thoughts, which who couldn't, but.
Because you're just hurt.
It's like the first 3 weeks was like the worst physical pain, mental pain that I've ever gone through. But I was completely blindsided. Like, everyone has issues. And we've had issues because of past things, because of things on his side.
That you were very forgiving about.
Yes. And I struggled with.
But willing to work on stuff.
And I never saw this. Like, I have been racking my brain every day, how I didn't see this coming. And it still doesn't make sense. And I actually sat down. My parents have a really close friend. I can't even stop bumping this.
I'm bad at it too.
My parents have a really close friend. He was a pastor, and he found out that his wife had been having an affair for 6 years. And they were doing ministry together. They were, I mean, all these things. He had no idea.
Wow.
Now they're working on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's unbelievable. But like when I sat down and talked to him, I was like, if I was you, I would do the same thing, because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
I mean, when I made that commitment 7 years ago, I made that commitment. Like, especially in everything that we've gone through, I never wavered. You know, there was never a thought in my mind that was like, oh, I'm going to leave. Like, that never even crossed my mind.
Yeah.
You know, obviously when you fight, sometimes you throw that out there like a stupid person.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it was never
this is actually on the table.
Yes, never in a million years.
Yeah.
But when I talked to him, he said, like, you're going to sit there and you're going to ask yourself why, how, I don't understand. And he's like, you're going to drive yourself bonkers.
Yeah.
Because you're not ever going to truly know.
Yeah, you're never going to know all the answers.
No, unless that person wants to sit down with you and work through it.
Right.
And be transparent.
Yeah.
But if not, you're going to drive yourself crazy. And so we talked about our faith. We talked about the devil. We talked about sin. We talked about things that go on in people's heads that make these kind of decisions.
Yeah.
And you have stuff like that. So it was very enlightening. Something that I'll add in my book one day.
Yeah. See? Yeah, there you go.
But
first chapter.
Yes. And you know what? It's like crazy, because I thought when all that happened, I thought, I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to be alone forever. And
which is not true, because you're 24.
I know, but I don't feel 24. I feel like an old person.
Hey, don't make yourself any older.
I have 3
You need
kids.
to cling to your 24.
I know.
Cling
but
to
the
your
thing
20s.
is I don't feel that way. And then I think to myself, when I'm ready to date, what am I going to do? When I go out there and be like, yes, hello, I'm 24, 25. I've got 3 kids and I'm divorced.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah. Or not to mention, what we talked about before. When you go on the first date and they're like, so tell me about yourself.
I change poopy diapers. No, I'm kidding.
Do you like kids? What do you want me to ask you? I've talked to the same person for the last 8 years. Like,
right. Yeah.
And the dating world's a scary place out there.
I listen. Yes, I'm sure it is.
Seriously.
Especially now. Yeah.
Well,
not to scare you. I don't mean to scare you. But.
I'm already scared. But a couple weeks before this even happened, we had been talking about how we're so glad we don't have to date out there. And I was talking to my cousin about it.
Wow.
Because she's dating, and I said, we were talking about something, and I was like, oh, good thing I don't have to do that. And then like 2 weeks later, and I remember sitting there the first week and being like,
you're like, wait a minute.
I'm sorry. Come again?
Yeah, exactly.
Come again.
Like, how was it? Yeah.
How is this even happening? So anyway, I put my boutique on hold. It was...
Because you had a lot of orders.
I had a lot of orders, and I was like 2 weeks behind. I felt so bad, but I couldn't. I would go in to work, and I would just sit there crying.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't. All my energy was going to taking care of the kids. That's pretty much all my energy went.
Well, yeah, because like overnight, it was like you're a single mom.
Right before Christmas.
Yeah.
My favorite holiday.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Literally, I didn't. For the first year, I didn't get to enjoy it. We looked at, as a family, we had gone to look at Christmas lights, I think the week before or that week of. And after that, I couldn't even get myself to go drive through Christmas lights. I literally couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Well, yeah, just like earth shattering.
Yeah, I literally couldn't do it. I mean, I keep to say literally. literally.
Yeah.
Apologies, my bad.
No, you're fine. But yeah, you couldn't wrap your head around it.
No, I couldn't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, because your mind was elsewhere. I mean, that's
Exactly.
absolutely understandable. But it ended up being a great Christmas for the boys.
Yes,
And
they had a great
luckily
Christmas.
they're really young. And
Very young.
they're very resilient.
I mean, they're hurting.
Yeah.
I mean,
And a little confused, I'm sure.
They're confused. They're hurting. I've tried to be very careful with how I talk to Alex because he's the oldest.
Right.
But he understands Daddy doesn't want to be with Mommy anymore.
Yeah. And that's so heartbreaking
Yes.
for a 6-year-old to
Yes.
try to wrap his head around it.
Yes,
and
but I always tell him, Daddy loves you very much, and it's going to be great.
And it'll be their new, you guys will just have to
They'll
get
have
to
a
a
new
new
normal.
normal. Yeah. So they've still been able to see him and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so they still have a relationship with him.
Yeah.
But it's just different. Yeah.
It's different. And like I said, it came out of literally nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, when I look back over the last month, because how can you not?
Yeah. You're like, what were the events leading up to it?
Exactly. And I've tried to think of a time where I thought that this was going on in his head, and I couldn't tell you.
Wow.
Couldn't tell you. I mean, I've sat down and I have thought about it endlessly, and I cannot tell you. I can't tell you.
Well, and this is just a good reminder. We've had lots of conversations. In fact, I've had a lot of conversations with Phil too. And it's like, if you are unhappy, then talk to me,
Say something,
like, let's
exactly.
work on it. Let's
Yes.
find a common ground and let's talk to someone else and
Exactly.
and try to work on it.
But also, one of the things is like, my faith has always been like the biggest thing in my life, always. And I thought that was reciprocated.
yeah,
And I'm finding out that was potentially something else that he was going through the motions with. And I think that can also, when you have any couple, but especially a couple that are supposed to be a Christ-centered relationship, which struggled to be that way, but you still thought, well, it's okay because we both want the same thing in regards to that.
right,
And then you find out, oh, wait, we weren't?
right.
Like,
weren't
we
on the same
actually
page.
weren't?
Yeah,
Then you have to sit there and be like, okay, well, I guess that gives a little more clarity on the situation, because
yeah,
if not, I mean, that's a huge thing right there. If you think that someone has your same, especially being a Christian, like
yeah,
when you're sitting there and you think that that person is loving you the way Christ loves the church, but
Yeah.
you're loving them that way, but they're not loving you that way, and then you find out later after the fact.
Yeah.
You sit there and
you're just trying to put the pieces
Exactly.
together and like, where did I go wrong or yeah. And obviously it's not your fault. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think you realize that now. And
yeah, and
everything.
Could I have been a better wife? Sure. Who couldn't be
I mean,
a
of
better
course,
wife?
we all can.
I've
Yeah.
thought back. We've had one of the worst parts about this is that we've talked pretty much every single day since he left. I mean, I literally wake up. And
But you're really forgiving. I don't know that I would be that forgiving.
That's what
and have a
everyone says to me.
conversation.
They're always like, "You're still talking to him?"
Yeah,
I'm
I'd be like, don't talk to me.
And I mean, I've told him that I'm there for him with whatever he needs, because he's going through some things right now too. Sometimes I wish that I could be a rude person. I really do.
You're like, I wish I had it in me.
I really wish that I could just be
Let me step in and I can write a script
Okay, cool.
for you.
That's great. Cassie, yes,
I might
have
be
another
too harsh.
text. I need backup.
I might be too harsh. I don't know if that would be good or not.
But, through all of this, like, our church, oh my gosh.
Oh, yes. And you've had so many people reach out and just come and
they
help
have
and everything.
reached. I had day 2. I had 8 women come over just praying over me.
That's awesome.
And I know that everyone has continued to pray. And I know for a fact that is why I can talk about this, a month and a half later and not cry.
Yeah.
Because I literally feel like he is holding me up every single day.
Yeah.
And obviously there are times where I still get a little emotional. Like last night I felt
I mean, of course.
just off. Well,
I mean, it's still really fresh.
he had his friend drop off these papers he printed out yesterday because we've agreed on everything.
Oh, good.
So we technically don't have to do mediation. We could have a lawyer just draw up what we agreed on.
I don't know how Will feels about that.
I don't either.
Will, you might have to tell us.
My dad and I are going to talk about it today, but he like printed off the papers to like things to fill out. It just like asks all the questions, you know, child support, alimony, time, all those things. He had his friend drop them off at like 10:30 at night or 10 o'clock at night.
10:30?
I think it was like 9:50. Either way. My mom and I were watching a movie, and his friend texted me and said, "Are you awake?" And I was like, "Yes." And he said, "Curtis wants me to drop off these papers for you." And I just felt like my stomach just sink to the floor. I'm so sick of this, you know, because now looking back, I feel like I was sleeping next to a stranger.
Yeah.
And that's such
I've heard that before, that happens.
That's such a crappy thing to think of.
Yes.
You were sleeping next to a stranger? What?
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know. And like I said, obviously I could go on about what really is
going down because you've had so many
the,
emotions and so
behind
many
the scenes, but I don't want to completely, smear his name. But I have been very open on Facebook about...
And that helps you.
Yes.
It helps you in the healing process and the grieving process.
Yes, it's been like a complete healing process for me. Because when I'm sharing on Facebook, and like I said, I've been very careful with things I say, but I've had so many messages from people saying they're praying for me, they're thinking about it, talking, even sharing some of their own situations.
Wow.
And then people saying, thank you for sharing, because they might have already gone through it, or maybe I think a couple people are going through it.
Yeah.
And they're saying no one talks about it.
Right.
No one really truly talks about it. You might get one little post that's like, oh yeah, we're split up or whatever, and that's it.
And then you never know.
Exactly. You don't know anything. And then you're going through the situation and you feel like you're a crazy person because
you're like, no one else is going through what I'm going through right now.
And that's how I felt.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, he sat me down, he's like, sadly, there are thousands of women going through what you're going through.
Right.
Because the divorce rate is like, I think it's over 50%.
Wow.
And then for Christians, I think it's like 40%.
Which is just mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's like everyone just get, you get the feeling that everyone just gives up.
Uh-huh.
It's just like, oh, it's just easy, let's just give up. And
yes, and I know there are circumstances
absolutely
where divorce is, you like, for your health.
Absolutely.
For your mental health, physical health, safety, all of it, you get out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But I do feel like a lot of divorces that I've heard about, it's one of the two people decided that they are no longer in love and want to leave and be on their own or
and what are you
whatever.
supposed to do? I mean, you have no say. And that's where
no
you're at
say.
right now. You're like,
Exactly.
I've tried.
And
And there's just,
the forgiveness thing for me
is I still can't understand it, which maybe that needs to be a New Year's resolution of mine. I need to be more forgiving.
Well, and I think it's because I've had to forgive so many times over the last years.
Yeah.
But, and of course, I'm sure some people are like, well, this is the one thing that you don't forgive. But I'm sitting here like, I'm a wife through and through.
And you've got 3 kids. You can't just, God, not try.
I fully believe that God made me to be a wife. Like, I really feel like he put that desire on my heart. Mm-hmm. And I still have that desire. And some people told me, how can you even think about that? And I'm not sitting here thinking, hey, I'm going to go date tomorrow. That would go over real bad.
Yeah.
But I want to...
The boys need to go to school, I just realized. I wonder if Phil left to go take them to school.
I'm sure he did.
He left. We ran late and then we had technical difficulties. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just was like, oh my gosh, the boys are still at home.
Phil left?
I don't know.
Phil, if you're watching, can you drop a comment, please?
Can you go get the boys and take them to school, please? Oh, man.
See, this is what I was telling you last night or 2 nights ago?
Yeah.
2 nights ago.
We've been brainstorming all week, yeah.
But anyway, long story short, we'll talk more about it and healing processes and all that kind of stuff. And then in the future,
bring light to it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, because I want to be transparent and honest. I had a couple people message me and say that they went back to church because of my posts.
Wow.
And I just sat there and was like,
That's
Okay.
That's crazy.
That's why I'm sharing.
That's so impactful.
I know.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I honestly kind of thought that I would share a little bit and people would be like, dude, why is she talking about this?
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure some people do that that aren't going through it.
Yeah.
You know, they don't go through it. They haven't went through it.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for them to wrap their heads around it, you know.
But
yeah.
yes, we're going to be
That's
able to
good.
talk about it and talk about healing
Yes.
and talk about, you know, single mom life and
we want to hear from people
Yes.
that listen and watch the show
Yes,
too, because we want to know
absolutely.
like what you guys are going through or, you know, if you have any advice or any tips or anything
I
like
am
that.
all ears.
And I honestly am looking forward to when she starts to date, and then we can all
boy.
just go along with her on her little dating journey and live
It's like-
vicariously through you.
It's like
I'm
my,
kidding.
it's like my skin curls. Just
Just thinking about it, you're like, we need to change the subject. I don't want to talk about this.
but my dad and I talked about it, and he said, okay, what's the oldest that you would consider dating?
Oh my!
I was like,
Well, you did have
Oh,
one
sweet Moses.
elder. I was gonna. You, I'm not going to stop right there. You had someone say, "Come on over." I shouldn't have said that. I'm so sorry.
it's okay. That's what you know. What?
Hey, I think you
chances
need
of
to.
him
I think
watching
you
this
need to get out there, though, no matter what.
I hope at some point this year, once I feel better, that I can, because I fully believe in love. I fully believe in marriage. I fully believe that God has someone out there that's going to love me and lead the way that that's how it should be.
How it should have been in the
Yes.
beginning.
So
Absolutely.
But we're gonna go on this journey together.
it'll be fun.
And it's gonna be fun and
Yes.
it's gonna be funny. And
Yes, and we'll do lots of other stuff too.
Yes,
We can
tons
touch
of mom
on
stuff.
you know, all kinds of stuff. So if you have any ideas or comments or
Yeah.
suggestions or topics, you can just let us know.
yes.
And let us know what we should name our show. We got to
Yes.
come up with something, and we're gonna have to get some graphics up
Yeah, we're
here.
in graphics.
And
We're looking into recording it for a podcast, like we
Yes,
said.
yes.
Uploading it to YouTube.
Yes.
Our own Facebook page.
I think it might. If
Instagram page.
Will is on here still, we can ask him if it is on YouTube. But I think they go on YouTube every time, every episode.
I'm sure we could probably,
If not, we can definitely
Yeah.
like upload it
Yeah.
later or something. So
and it's gonna be cool. I'm
yeah,
excited.
I know we're gonna have lots of good. Yeah.
You know, we'll
And
try to
hopefully,
get-
and it's supposed to snow tomorrow in Rogersville.
boy.
So hopefully we can go sledding, take the boys
Yes.
sledding. That'll be lots of fun. And I know we went sledding last year and Parker just absolutely had a blast. But I won't be able to sled, but I'll bring my lawn chair.
There you go.
Watch
There you go.
everybody.
There you go.
And my book. See, I need to go ahead and get started
There you
on
go. And
reading.
I'll go down the hill with
Yeah,
the kids.
there you go.
It's been a lot of fun.
I love it. Okay, guys, well, have a good weekend, and we hope to see you next week.
Yes, stay tuned next week.
Bye, guys.